I've had this standing for a couple of hours. All those different fertilisers that were mixed together in that previous video. Fish blood and bone, bone meal and 777. And then we added a capful of liquid seaweed and tomato food. And pretty much most of it has dissolved. So we've turned a slow release fertiliser into a liquid feed so we can get those plants fed a bit quicker, and then I'm transferring it to this watering can. And considering how much we put in, there's not that much left to dissolve. So I just keep adding a little bit more water until we fill this watering can, and then we'll get it on those tomato plants. There's only a small amount of those granules left in there, so I'm going to go and pop that round those tomato plants shortly, give them that massive boost of nutrient. I'm not one to give up, and I will try anything. We'll give these plants a right good feed. Just make sure every plant gets a share of this. We'll take that end off so we can get a larger amount on. Hopefully that extreme fix of nutrients is going to do these plants some good. If not, in a couple of days time we'll have that CalMag and we'll try that. I received another donation this afternoon from Andrew Weston. He's been having a bit of trouble with carrot seeds germinating, and we know that happens to us all at some point. But thanks to a few hints and tips, they've now started germinating, and I'm really pleased for you, Andrew, that you finally cracked that and you're on your way to getting some fresh homegrown carrots. And thank you so much for that donation that you made. It really does help us out when we're making videos on a daily basis, and I'll make sure that that money is put to good use. So thank you very much for your generosity, Andrew. It is really appreciated. Apart from getting a few more cherry tomatoes today, I've just picked his first blueberries. So now we're getting a really nice mixture of fruit. We've got tomatoes, we've got strawberries, we've got blackberries, raspberries, gooseberries, and now blueberries. So those smoothies are going to be even more tasty and nutritious at the same time. I've grown a fresh set of French beans, the dwarf variety. That's what we concentrate on at this point in season, dwarf peas, dwarf beans, so we can grow them fast and take fast harvest. And we've got a couple of nice looking plants in here. One, however, has been attacked. There's a slug managed to get in here onto the bench, and it's had a bit of a feed. But we've still got quite a few decent ones. That plant has been completely eaten. So before we lose any more, we better get some planted on and get some growing. We're not here to feed slugs. And I've got one of these containers spare, and it's full of quite rough compost. So I'm going to use this. They've got very good drainage and they are food safe as well. We might as well use this container, and then I'll probably put most of them plants in there with them only being dwarf varieties, and see if we can get a few handfuls of beans before end of season. Now this is at a point where it's about a third full. I'll put some feed in it, get these plants started up the right way. And I'm going to use fish blood and bone. I'm just going to put a thin layer on top of that compost, and that'll be plenty. When I'm doing peas and beans and I'm putting fertiliser in, I try and stay away from things that are high in nitrogen, because they don't need so much nitrogen. So a 777 has equal amounts of everything in it. So 7% nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. So I wouldn't use that because the nitrogen content's too high. So fish blood and bone is a good all-rounder. And because we've amended that with fertiliser, I can then put in some of this compost, which has been used before as well. saving a bit of money on compost that way. There is a few roots in it from previous plants, but only a small amount, and they'll rot down as the other plants grow. There's going to be plenty of room in this container to put quite a few of those plants in. So I think these ones are around 15 litre. So I'm just going to take best of these plants out. We've got quite a few that look really healthy. And there's no problem with roots on these either. So I think I'm just going to put one dead central. And then we'll put some more on our side. So we'll get one in there as well. Then one opposite. And then the same again on opposite side. And that's pretty much got rid of all those plants. We'll just firm them in and let them get underway. A quick and easy job, and we've now got 5 more French bean plants, haven't we? So there we go, and we're on our way. 5 dwarf French bean plants in a 15 litre container, and we'll see how they get on. Hopefully we can avoid any more damage from slugs, because as far as I'm concerned, French beans are a slug's favourite. They'll destroy every plant in the path in a matter of a few hours. So I might strap these to top of the greenhouse. Maybe they don't climb that high. I just want to show you this melon plant behind me. We looked at it quite recently, but since then I've had to start tying it up even more. And that's this one in a container. And we put some canes in, and as these plants have been growing, we've been tying them up with these little twist ties that we've got, because we don't want these plants laying out compost. But they've now sent out 4 different vines, and they're still climbing, and that one has got right to the top of those canes. But I did also notice that there's a melon growing on here somewhere, if I can find it. It's only tiny, but it is here somewhere. There is definitely one on here somewhere. I just can't see it at the moment. I'm just going to go through really slow, and maybe somebody else can spot it. In case you didn't spot it, it's right there. If you can make that out. A tiny little melon just starting to grow. But this plant's done amazing, considering it's just in a container. And I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to feed it along top of this greenhouse. We've got some bars just there that go across the middle of this greenhouse, and they go from one end right to other. So as this plant gets higher and higher, instead of adding taller canes, because I want to leave it in this greenhouse, we'll feed it across roof and see how that works out for us. Meanwhile, that butternut squash plant is going mad. The leaves on it are now huge. And we have got some flowers on it at the bottom, but we've also got more buds coming further up and there as well. But it's started to work its way even farther across this bench now. I think I'll just feed this all the way across the width of that bench, and then maybe back on its but that plant's got huge in a very short space of time. So that growth on pretty much everything is really starting to kick in now. The tomato plants are this high now, as you can see. And we're getting lots more tomatoes starting to grow. The peppers are starting to get to a decent size. We just hope that they have time to ripen. And we've got that courgette in that other greenhouse, which is now quite big. So I'm pretty sure that must be ready to harvest. So now we're moving towards setting up new containers of plants. As things get tired and stop fruiting, we want something to put straight in place of that, and then we can carry that harvest on for as long as possible. And if we keep replacing plants and sowing seeds, then the only thing that's going to stop us harvesting anything is going to be this first frost, which will kill those plants back. And that is a long way off. So keep sowing those seeds and replacing all your tired plants, because we've got plenty of harvest time left yet. Anyway, thank you very much for being part of the channel, and thank you so much, Andrew, again for that donation. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see what we're going to be doing tomorrow, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you all then. Take care.